and so they gathered the light.
To master the ring, you must learn to focus your will and create what you see in your mind. The ring's limits are only what you can imagine.
Will can do more than pave our retreat. Will is the first cause behind any action. We must will our survival.
You want to be a lantern, you gotta commit to the core.
Good morning. Sorry I was late to join the fight.
Let's jump right into it. So immediately on the show, Chandler, which is Hal Jordan's character, is saying something to John Stewart. He's like, yo, John Stewart saying to Hal Jordan, yo, we've been training for 2 months. When am I gonna get the ring? And Hal Jordan says some funny shit like, yo, don't get hung up on the jewelry.
Don't get hung up on the jewelry, Junior. You're just a fucking substitute teacher. You're not ready to get up in front of the class until the ring says you are.
You just like, he trying to make fun of him, like, you're not ready for this shit yet. And throughout the whole trailer, you only see one ring. And I'm like, nigga, nah. I heard a little a leak like, yo, it's gonna be one ring the whole show. And I was like, man, so they gonna be sharing a ring? Nah. And I was like, yo, how the fuck, how would he be able to not have his ring? So I'm like, okay. The only way I see him able to do that is for the sole purpose of, when any lantern goes into space, they have to go train. They have to go, link. You gotta check in, basically. So in this case scenario, it's more like, and from what I heard, this, like I said, this is also a leak as well, but I also heard Hal Jordan is filling in for somebody else. So I'm imagining most likely Kilowatt. So the only reason why I was saying it's probably one ring throughout the whole show is because for the 2 months, Hal Jordan's probably been trying to train him and get him going. And since it's been 2 months without the ring, we on Earth. We home. You don't gotta, you been a regular dude the whole time. It's not like we in space on another world. We're home. So give me a ring and we gonna see what you made of type shit. That's how I'm imagining. I'm coping with that fact right there. Because if it's one ring, yo, DC's dead. DC's dead. Yo, you can't fuck up Green Lantern twice. And nah. And with everything that's going on, if you know the real, like, if you've been paying attention to behind the scenes and everything, most likely Chandler's character, Hal Jordan, will die in this season. He probably won't make it to the end. He'll make it to the end, but he'll die at the end most likely. So doing the whole one ring and then killing our fan favorite Green Lantern, it's not doing any favors for DC. So, and then it's grounded. I'm okay with it being grounded though. So let's get into that real quick. With it being grounded, yes, I understand the whole, you want a whole space theme cop, Star Wars or Star Trek, or whatever the case may be. The nigga that's making this movie, what's the nigga name? Dan Lindelof. I looked him up. I'm like, yo, I seen some of this nigga films. The nigga made Prometheus. Nigga made fucking the first Star Trek when they rebooted in, I think, what, 2008 or 9? One of them shits. I saw that in the fucking theater. That was alright. And then he makes Watchmen.
If I'm to have a symbol, it shall be one I respect.
I know a lot of niggas don't really like that, but yo, pain, like yo, the Watchmen show, go tune into that one. That was fire. But anyways, I'm like, yo, son, like, and then he has a clip online. I'll put it up on the screen. But this nigga got a clip online talk about, yo, He doesn't see the whole purpose in lanterns. Like Green Lanterns. Thinks it was corny, or like, I don't know. I think he said it was corny, but like I said, I'll play it up.
So, you just announced a Green Lantern show.
It's called Lanterns because we all agreed that the green was stupid.
What's up? Like, you done space kind of movies, man. What's the different approach with this? Why? And it's the first time anybody's seeing Hal and John. This is the official first time we're getting to see John Stewart. Now, I know people gonna say it for Zack Snyder, but that's a deleted scene. And your mans did that in his backyard. Like, and that wasn't like thrown in the movie. It was Martian that was in the movie, not Green Lantern. So, what's up? How you gonna like go the other way? It's your name. Prometheus is pain. Like, yo, that's fire movie. That's a great movie. That's the shit and part of the alien shit. Like, no way. So like, this guy is you in the space field. How can you go the other way? But I can understand in the sense of like, I'm coping at this point, you feel me? I can understand in the sense like, you know, he's trying to build John Stewart up. And there was some things I was speculating on how Jordan, they might do the parallax is not possessing, but like maybe he took over Hal for, like, he's in Hal right now, currently. Maybe. Because when he was saying like, yo, I don't talk to none of the lanterns, they all aliens. Huh?
Have you ever talked with the other lanterns?
I'm the only human. They're aliens. One of them's a fucking squirrel.
What do you mean? Your ring translate any, like, majority of the languages in space, so the fact that you can't speak with them is absurd. That's, you're taking canon things out from the ring at this point. And I know a lot of people were saying they don't like the Green Lantern suit. I'm okay with it. Because like I said, I'm understanding maybe how Jordan might be with Parallax. He might be possessed. He might be like, for anyone who doesn't know, the synopsis for both of the characters is that John Stewart is a rookie Green Lantern. He just got his ring. He's still learning, whatever. Hal Jordan is a veteran. He is at least 20 years in as a Lantern. No Justice League, no other affiliations. And you could just assume that, like, okay, if Green Lantern's 20 years in, 20 years of a Green Lantern, especially from Hal Jordan's point of view, you could imagine off-screen stuff like him and Sinestro then fought together, and they they clashed heads, which is the Sinestro War. So it's one or two ways if they do go that route, which most likely I believe they will. Sinestro and Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern's Yellow, has had a fight off screen, a whole war off screen. I'm super sure that's facts, but there's one or two ways they could do it, like ending the war. So one way is obviously the Green Lanterns beat the Yellows and they locked them up. Or two, Sinestro got older, realized like, yo, this will never end, and kind of had a peace treaty for the sole purpose his daughter becomes a Green Lantern. Sornik, I forget her name, but her name is Sornik. And they might have a peace treaty to where like, yo, we won't fight. We'll be peace treaties, you'll be peacemakers. I'm gonna do my own thing, y'all do your own thing, but you know, and him not knowing other Lanterns, how Jordan, how can you say that when we literally just saw Superman and there's Guy Gardner? So if everything's playing out in my head how everything is, how Jordan has been off Earth majority of, like, those 20 years, he's barely on Earth. He's barely in tune with Earth. he barely has anything to do with Earth. Now, there's another cast member, I don't know her name, but I'll definitely throw her up on the screen. She's Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire is supposed to be in the show as well. Carol Ferris. Let me not say Star Sapphire. Carol Ferris is supposed to be in the show. And like I said, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the video. If he is a 20-year-old Green Lantern, Carol Ferris is not that far off, or she already has been a Pink Lantern. So, with all that being said, what is the off-screen stuff that has happened to Hal Jordan? Because like I said, for a 20-year-old superhero, and not even fuck a superhero, super cop, you're a galactic cop. You go to anything, if like you're everywhere. You patrol the whole sector, galaxy, whatever the case may be. You're doing impossible missions. And for those who don't know the Guardians are very like, I'm not promiscuous, but like, yo, they kind of like have their own self-interest. They do things behind closed doors, and it hurts other people. So for this case scenario, like I said, for a 20-year-old Hal Jordan, 20 years, you didn't at least, like I said, you at least fought the Sinestro for some time, and his people. You fought that corps for some time, and casualties come with that. And I think they're gonna maybe mix the story with the Sinestro War and him and Parallax possessing him. They might have something to do with, because if I'm not mistaken, the guy that destroyed, I forget the nigga's city, but the nigga that does destroy Hal Jordan's city was Cyborg Superman in the comics. But I think they're gonna change it to Sinestro. And the whole thing is like, yo, I'm your greatest mans. I'm your greatest Green Lantern. This was your greatest opposition. This guy was in your fold, took down your fold, and went against it. Sinestro, I'm talking about. And you're just gonna give him a pass? Like, yo, we're gonna have a treaty because it's a kid? What about my people? What about like my city? So I could see how Jordan be on a gritty route. Like, man, fuck the Lanterns, man. Man, they ain't do nothing for me. I didn't put my heart, blood, sweat, and tears for this shit. And niggas that Sinestro went, man, fuck that shit, man. So I could see him be like, alright, since he's the greatest Green Lantern, they can't really like, he's that nigga. So I was like, yo, he'll live until he dies. Like, you know, he'll be a Lantern until he dies. We not gonna take his ring away because we obviously need him. But at the same token, he don't gotta obey by order. So I could see him be that one distant Lantern. Like, yeah, that's a Green Lantern. That's that nigga, but like, stay away from that nigga, man. He's kind of nuts, kind of crazy. I can see them move on like that, and it could be like, yo, Kilowog couldn't see, for the sole purpose, let's just say Kilowog was supposed to be John Stewart's trainer. Like I said, for a 20-year-old Hal Jordan, I could see him, like I said, distance himself from all the Lanterns. He was cool with some of them, all of them. He was loved by all of them. He loved all of them. The whole thing was, how can you guys be okay with the decision of allowing Sinestro to be after what he did to me? And after what I've done for all this shit, y'all gonna let that? Nah. So I could see Kilowog be like, man, I know we have our differences, but like, yo, this is one of your mans. This is one of your peoples. And you see, dude over there, he don't get caught. He like a running cop. That's how they treat Guy Gunner, like a running cop. So, and it'd be like, yo, Kilowog be like, yo, I see potential in him to be the next you. Like, you know, gassing it. I could see him say that to Hal off screen. Kilowog told Hal Jordan, like, yo, this is the next Green Lantern. Like, this guy. And not the other, you know, I could see them, you know, some shit like that. But there's other characters that's supposed to be in the show. Atrocitus is supposed to appear in the show as well, and Black Hand. Now I've been rambling about how to cope with how everything works out and everything, but now to talk about like what the premise of the show might be. So the show, it's an investigation. So for everyone who doesn't know, and for those who do know, the synopsis of the show is that a murder happens in a mysterious town, not a mysterious town, but a random town, and niggas don't know how to solve it. And supposedly it's like a cult in the town, so doing some shit, whatever. How do you do that with Green Lantern, right? So if you really had to ask me what it might be, man, it's one or two things. Cause I'm like, okay, the cult thing makes sense. That could be Black Hand, because supposedly Black Hand is supposed to be in the show, and he could just be running a cult, and the whole thing is, yo, boys reading the Book of Black, and niggas summoning necromancy and doing all this shit, and it's like, yo, this is the shit Atrocitus is talking about, you know, kind of connecting the dots, if you will. Or now this is my theory in itself. So there's an episode on Justice League Unlimited, and the only reason why I'm bringing this up is for the sole purpose that James Gunn has said that he is taking inspiration from the Timmverse animated stuff. Let's just say that. So yes, I do believe the Timmverse is a heavy inspiration for his universe, but I also think others, I think there's others that he's definitely taking inspiration from. But with this, excuse me, all the saliva popping out my mouth. Take a fucking sip of water. Looking crazy. But with the whole taking inspiration from animation, is that I see him taking inspiration from one episode. It's called the Justice Guild in Justice League, not Unlimited, the one before that, just Justice League. And in that episode, what it was the Justice League get a call, like a random warning.
We're not done here.
But Seaboard City needs us.
Haven't you noticed that nothing here makes sense? Library books with blank pages, ice cream trucks that never stop.
Dangers that spring up whenever someone gets too close to the truth.
What truth? That your world is an illusion, a living memory of a civilization destroyed 40 years ago, when the Justice Guild gave their lives for this Earth. That's why they stopped publishing the comic book in our world. No more Justice Guild.
In a small town, and it's just crime happening, and there's superheroes just saving the town. Like every time, like just saving the town. And the whole thing was like, yo, the whole Justice League was like, yo, how we never heard of y'all? Like, we done pretty seen a lot of niggas, a lot of superheroes, whatever the case may be. Ain't never heard this town nor heard of y'all superheroes. So where y'all been this whole time? They be like, yo, we was saving the town the whole time. We're a small little town trying to protect it. Yeah, alright. So whatever the case may be, John Stewart's the most skeptical one. He's the one investigating certain things, and come to find out, the town has been dead the whole time. There has been no town. It was a metahuman that was controlling the town, like kind of like reality warping everybody's mind, like to see what he wanted to see. It's like manipulation, if you will, or whatever the case may be. But he was manipulating the area around him, and the Justice League were seeing fake heroes, fake villains, fake everything. If that's the case, I have two questions. Is Amanda Waller in it? Like, how does Amanda Waller not know anything about this? And of course, I think they're gonna have a dark twist to it. Like, okay, let's just say there is a metahuman controlling the area around him. That might not be the case. That's why I say Amanda Waller. Because I was like, yo, there's not a lot of dead superheroes, but like I said, this is a flourished superverse, DC universe. 300 years in from this show is 20 years point of view from Hal Jordan, and like I said, 300 years for the universe since the metahuman's been around, whatever the case may be. How is this town supposedly being saved by heroes or being hurt by superpowered people? What is the case of that? Like, how does Amanda Waller not be aware of that? You're seeing she was aware of what Starro did. She was also aware of Peacemaker. Not Peacemaker. They also mentioned the whole Suicide Squad thing in Peacemaker season 2. That's a city. That was a threat. Those are threats to the world. The case may be is that it could be anything, but most likely it's a town with some. It's a mystery. I'm fried. I'm getting smacked. I ain't gonna lie. It's a mystery and a mystery murder. I'm sorry. And the Green Lanterns can't figure it out. No one in the town can't figure it out. And it connects to the overarching story for the DC universe. That's the synopsis. So the synopsis is that whatever this murder mystery has to do with whatever is causing the murder connects to the whole overarching universe of the DC universe. Sorry, I might have worded that wrong, but whatever. So yeah, I'm still excited. I still want to see what's gonna happen. There are gonna be certain patterns where Lantern and not patterns. I'm fried. But with the whole show and everything and how it might play out, how the trailer came out, it doesn't really look that promising. But at the same token, hopefully with this video, it gives you some emphasis of like clarity. Because obviously they're not showing everything. They didn't show not even a construct. They just showed dude fly off, like, you know? They barely showed that. So hopefully this is a half-ass trailer, you know? Hopefully we got an actual trailer. And we see some Green Lantern. I'm assuming we probably get maybe an episode or 2 or episode and a half, like how Jordan might go off into space, you know? I can see that. But as of right now, and especially with Peacemaker, I didn't even want to make a video on Peacemaker because that was atrocious. But season 1 was fire, but season 2, oof. You missed me with that, man. Like, that's for somebody else. Superman, Creature Commandos, Pain, and then Suicide Squad is good. But gotta wait to see. But like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments.